Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be testing out the Allure Best of Beauty Award winners in the high-end category. I already filmed the drugstore version of this video, and I will have that link down below if you guys haven't seen that yet. But I was so excited to be able to film this video today because every September, Allure releases their list of winners. And it gets me really excited every year because it gives me an opportunity to try products, both drugstore and high-end, and see if they're really good and if these products really are award-winning. So I've got an entire lineup of most of the high-end products that won. Keep in mind there are hundreds of products that won awards and I'm not able to try everything. They also have a lot of like skincare and hair category products that won, so I'll have their website linked down below if you guys want to see everything that won, but I collected all the things that really interested me and that's what we're going to be testing out today. So, by the way, this is not sponsored by Allure at all. This is just something that I love to do on my channel. It's kind of a tradition and I seriously look forward to it every single year. Every year there's nail polishes that win, and this is one of the high-end polishes that I personally was really drawn to. I painted my nails with it already and I'm losing my mind over how gorgeous it is. This is the Ciate London Geology nail polish in the shade Moon Dust. Is this not stunning? Like, I can't get over how beautiful this nail polish is. There's a lot of different categories in the nail polish. This one specifically won for being the best metallic nail polish, and although I haven't tried every metallic polish out there, I definitely am already obsessed with this. So I'm really excited about the nail polish. I've already prepped my lips with another award winner. This one I stand behind. This is the Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask. I absolutely love it. As you can see, I am almost out. I'm gonna need to pick up a new one soon. This is beautiful. I absolutely love this for both day and night. I actually kind of prefer it for daytime. I like to reach for my Bite Beauty Agave lip mask at nighttime, but this also does work at night if you wanted it to, but I love what it does to the lips. It just smooths them out and makes them feel so moisturized, so I was really happy to see that that won an award. The high-end brow pencil that won an award is this one right here. This is the Hourglass Arch Brow Pencil or Brow Sculpting Pencil. I have mine in the shade Dark Brunette. This is actually something that I've owned for a while now, and it is a little bit of a thicker brow pencil. Here's what the tip looks like. And it's funny because I personally don't always reach for thicker brow pencils. I actually have really enjoyed the smaller version of the Hourglass brow pencil, but you know, we're gonna use this today anyway. There's actually a couple brow products that I want to show you. So we'll do a little bit of sculpting and filling in with this pencil first. I'm just gonna really focus this on the outer portion of the brow. I feel like this color really works well for me. And I'm making sure to flip the pencil over to just kind of brush through. Yeah, I personally definitely prefer a smaller pencil. Not to say that this isn't a good pencil, but just out of my personal preference, I definitely reach for something that's a little bit more precise for my brows. We're gonna continue filling in the brows with one of my favorite brow powders. Actually, I was so excited to see that this won an award. I'm actually not sure how frequently or if I've ever really shared my love for this on camera. This is the Sigma Brow Powder Duo, and I use the shade Medium. I'm gonna take the Sigma Small Angle Brush, and I'm gonna start off in the deeper shade, and I'm just gonna kind of set the pencil with this. Then I'm going to take the lighter shade, and this is what I wanted to use kind of in the inner portion of the brow. Okay, now that the powders are on, I'm just going to brush through the brows one more time. The powders definitely make the brows look a little bit more soft. I've actually never layered the powder on top of this pencil, so the brows are looking a little more full than what I normally do, but I really like to use as many products as possible in these videos, just to give you guys an idea of what won and to show you kind of my opinion on each thing. This is not an award winner from Allure, but I absolutely love it. This is the NARS eyeshadow base. I've been using this practically every single day. We're gonna do the eyes first, so I thought I would prep the eyelids with something I'm familiar with. So I'm just gonna go ahead and apply this all over the lids. After I blend out the primer, I like to just take my finger and kind of press that in. All right, next we're gonna hop into eyeshadow. There are actually two eyeshadow palettes on the high-end spectrum that won awards, one of which is my most recent personal splurge. And I say personal splurge because I bought this without a video in mind. It's just something that I personally really wanted. However, it is the most expensive eyeshadow palette that I own, I believe. Maybe up there with Natasha Denona, but it's Pat McGrath's eyeshadow palette. I still have it in the packaging because I'm obsessed with the packaging. This is the Mothership 5 Bronze Seduction palette, and it just so happened that the one that won the award is the one that I personally own. So, but with that being said, I have to admit the formulas in here are absolutely incredible. The weight of the packaging is beautiful as well. I tend to reach for this on special occasions and I really have loved it. So I did want to give it a mention, even though it is pretty pricey. It took me forever to convince myself to purchase this, and I actually didn't buy it until I had a gift card to spend. But I do not regret picking this up, and if you're somebody who is a makeup addict and you're just looking for something new and really special to add to your collection, this might be something you'd want to look into. That palette won in the splurges category. So the eyeshadow palette that won, that is more high-end, was this one right here. So this is the one I ended up purchasing. This is the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette. I own the Huda Beauty New Nude palette, and that is one of my all-time favorite palettes. When I saw that this won, I was kind of surprised. First of all, because I had never really been personally interested in this palette for some reason. I don't know why, but also it's not really a new eyeshadow palette to the market. I'm pretty sure this has been around for a while. But when I got this in the mail and I opened it up, I really do see why this could be something that won an award. Obviously, I haven't tested out the formula yet. Some of these purple tones really intrigue me, and there's also a lot of bronze tones, warm tones. So yeah, anyway, this is what I ended up picking up, and this is what we're gonna mainly play with today. I also bought 2 other eye products that we're gonna be testing out today because I'm a sucker when it comes to glitters, and 2 glitters won awards. So anyway, we'll get to those in a second. I think I want to start off with this shade right here called Eden. Ooh, this is my favorite part about new eyeshadows. I love that. Ooh, the mirror in here is very nice. All right, we're gonna start off with this shade, and I'm gonna start to build this up in the crease and a little bit above as our transition shade. This is blending out really nicely, and I love this peachy tone. This is a color that I would wear all over the lid and just pop on mascara for an everyday look. It's so pretty. Let's dip into this shade right here called Musk. It's a beautiful, cool toned brown. And I'm really wanting to use that to kind of start to shape out the crease. So I'm just gonna go build that up right here on the eye. It's almost like a contour color for your eye, just in the sense that it's a really pretty, cool toned brown, and I feel like it will really help to shape out the eye. So I'm just gonna do the same thing on this eye. I think I wanna do a halo eye today. So I'm gonna dip into the shade Amber, and I'm gonna layer that on the outer and inner corners of the eye, just to start to map out the shape of the halo eye. Out of every shade in the palette, I am really gravitated toward retrograde. So I'm wanting to try that out on the lid. I'm gonna actually apply this with my finger, and I'm gonna start to apply that on the center of the lid. Kind of matches my nails, doesn't it? That is a really, really pretty shade. I'm actually gonna layer that with another award-winning eyeshadow. This is one of the glitters that won an award, and I could not pass up a glitter eyeshadow. So this is the Kaja, I think that's how you say it. This is the Kaja Beauty Bento eyeshadows, and this particular stack is in the shade Toasted Caramel, so it has a lot of more warmer golden tones, but all 3 shades are shimmery and glittery. I'm kind of feeling like layering the second shade in this eyeshadow stack on top of what we just applied. I would normally just leave it, but again, we're trying to try out a lot of different products. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take that and kind of press it over top of the existing shimmer. Ooh, whoa. That looks really pretty. And I'm kind of applying this further across the lid than where I normally apply shimmers when doing a halo eye, because I have another shimmer or glitter eyeshadow that I wanted to use. I'm taking the brush that we were using on the edges and just kind of cleaning things up. Okay, this is another thing I couldn't pass up. This is the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Glass eyeshadow, and this is in the shade Night Dive. The whole range won an award, I believe. I just personally chose this shade on my own. I just thought it was so cool. So I'm gonna take a little bit of that and kind of put it on my hand. And I'm gonna be using my finger again and just taking what's on the back of my hand, and I'm gonna be pressing that shade in the very center of the eyelids. Oh my, absolutely yes. Yes, that is beautiful. All right, I'm gonna do the same thing on this eye. Kind of running through the crease with the brush that we used in the transition area before. I didn't add any more product, but I'm just kind of wanting to clean that up a little bit. But I'm absolutely in love with all of the glitter. Look how pretty that Tarte shadow is. I bet that would be really beautiful all over the lid as well. With just like a bronzer in the crease, it'd be really beautiful. I'm gonna take this shade right here called Oud, and I'm just wanting to add a tiny bit more depth on the outer and inner corner with this. Okay, I really love how this looks right now. Next, I'm gonna try out a Shiseido eyeliner. This is the Micro Liner Ink eyeliner, and this won an award, and I'm actually super excited to try it. Is this how I'm supposed to use it? I hope so. Okay, this is in the shade Black 01. They had a couple shades, but I decided to go with just a classic black. Look how fine the tip is on this. I'm actually really intrigued by this. It's funny because I don't usually wear tons of eyeliner, but the fact that this is so tiny, I thought I could really get between the lashes just to thicken up the lash line without it looking too overpowering. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to keep the pencil as close to the lashes as possible. And I'm going to line the lash line all the way from the inner corner to the outer corner. Okay, wow, look at the difference side by side. I'm really liking how close I'm able to get to the lash line, because one of the reasons why I don't really wear eyeliner is because if the pencil is too thick on the top lash line, I feel like it kind of takes up a lot of lid space. When I open my eyes, since my eyes are a little bit more hooded, I don't have that much lid space, so I don't like to cover that up with eyeliner. But this is so small, I could actually see myself reaching for this a lot. I guess the wear test is going to be important to see if this smudges at all, but it's applying really nicely, and I actually love the size of this. It's so small. So I'm actually going to go ahead and apply Top Lash Mascara now. There were a couple mascaras that won awards, but I wanted to use the Wander Beauty Mile High Club Mascara. This is a volume and length mascara, but I believe it won the category of a lengthening mascara. I've used this for a while now, and I really do love it. Like, I find myself reaching for it on my own off camera quite a bit. I do tend to use it on more of an everyday basis, not really with glam looks. Oh shoot, wait a second. We gotta back up a little bit. Beep, beep, beep. I forgot to grab the lash primer that won. This is from Marc Jacobs. It's their Velvet Lash Primer. Let's see here. Do we think we need to remove the mascara? Probably. I don't know if it's possible though. Okay, I might have botched my lashes. I don't know how possible it is to remove the mascara without ruining the eyeshadow. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the primer on this eye. And this primer is something that I actually bought on my own. I had heard good things about it. I'm just gonna layer it on top of the mascara. I know that's probably not the best idea, but ooh, you gotta do what you gotta do. But yeah, I've had this for a few months now. I do really like it. It's not something that I reach for every single day. I mean, lash primers in general are not something that I reach for every single day, but this is a really good one. And I do find that it pairs really nicely with the Marc Jacobs Velvet Mascara. But anyway, let's go back to the mascara that I was talking about. What I was saying was it's kind of something that I reach for when I'm doing more of an everyday look. But the interesting thing is I've actually never tried it over top of this primer, and maybe it will kind of add a little bit more volume than what it normally does. It adds volume on its own, don't get me wrong, but it's definitely more of a lengthening mascara. Oh man, I always get mascara all over my eyelids. Every single time I do makeup. It's wild. Okay, the mascara is on, and I actually do like how that looks layered. I'm just gonna wipe away any fallout that happened underneath the eyes and kind of clean up the edges. I will say one thing about that Marc Jacobs primer that I've noticed, not just from right now, but every time I use it, is it takes a little while to really cover up the beige color. And even still, I feel like there's a little bit of beige in the lashes here, so it does take some time to build up mascara over top of that to just make sure that you don't see any of the color of the lash primer. I'm just gonna take my finger and pat down the edges. Okay, the high-end primer that won an award is the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. I was really excited to see that this won because it's one of my favorite primers. I think it's so innovative, and I've used it for a while now. I'm just gonna go ahead and apply this to the center of the face, and then once there's less on my hands, I like to take that across the rest of the face as well, but I do like to kind of focus it in the T-zone because that's where my makeup tends to wear off first. Okay, I'm gonna let that sit for a second. There were actually several high-end foundations that won awards, which was surprising because there wasn't one single drugstore foundation that won an award this year, which I personally was a little bummed about. But I thought I would go through some of the ones that won, and then the one I'm going to try really intrigued me, and I'll show you that in a second. The first one that I was really excited to see win an award is the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue Hydration Foundation Stick. I have been using this since it launched. It is absolutely incredible. If you guys have watched my channel, you'll know how often I've used this, and I've talked about it so much. It is a beautiful foundation. So I was really thrilled to see that that won an award. I personally feel like it's one of the best stick foundations out there. Another foundation that I personally own and have tried that won an award this year is the Laura Mercier Flawless Lumiere Radiance Perfecting Foundation. Now, for me personally, like, I can see why this won an award because when you first apply it, it's absolutely beautiful. For some reason, this foundation does not wear on my skin as well as the other Laura Mercier foundation, the Flawless Fusion foundation. So personally, if I were to choose between the two, I would reach for the Flawless Fusion Fusion. They are very different formulas. This is more luminous, and I know so many people really love this foundation, so that's just kind of a personal preference thing. I wouldn't recommend this first out of the Laura Mercier foundations because I find that the Flawless Fusion wears so incredibly well on the skin, but I can see why this won an award. For some reason, it just doesn't wear as well as the other foundation does on my skin. Another foundation that won an award is the Shiseido Synchro Skin Self-Refreshing Foundation. It's funny because as I was prepping this video, I actually received this in PR, and I've never tried anything from Shiseido. I think this is the first thing that I've tried. The eyeliner and then this foundation. Since this foundation won an award and I knew I was filming this video, but I also knew I'd be trying out another foundation, I actually wore this the other day for the first time so that I could kind of have a general idea of what I could tell you about it. I thought that it went on so beautifully. It wore really nicely on my skin. I was actually very impressed with how lightweight this felt, and the way that it spreads across the skin is beautiful and really unique. So I'm excited about this. I will continue to use this and I will keep updating you guys, you know, if it's a foundation that I continue to reach for and if it sticks in my routine, but I did want to kind of give that a little bit of a shout out because I did try it. I only tried it once though, so that's why I can't be like, yes, go out and buy it right now. But the day that I wore it, I really was impressed by it. Okay, that was a mouthful. The foundation that I really wanted to try actually won an award in the breakthrough category. And when I saw this and I was reading the description on it, I was so intrigued by it. It was quite a splurge, okay? It's an Armani foundation. I'm not somebody that really splurges too much on foundations. Every once in a while, I guess I will, but I found so many incredible ones at the drugstore, but I just couldn't pass this one up. This is the Giorgio Armani Power Fabric High Coverage Foundation Balm. So the thing that's really unique about this, and I haven't tried it yet, so we'll see how it goes, but it kind of looks like it's gonna be either a powder foundation in here or like a cushion foundation. But when you open it up, it's actually a balm. And apparently it goes from like a balm to a cream to a liquid to a powder once it dries down, and I just had to try it. So this is what we're gonna be wearing today. It comes with a little puff, but I think I'm gonna use my brush. I picked up the shade 3.5. Another reason why I wanted to try this so badly was because I actually do own the Armani Power Fabric Foundation, and it's one of my favorite high-end foundations. I usually reach for that on like special occasions. But anyways, I really have enjoyed the Power Fabric line, so I wanted to test this out. All right, I've got a little bit on my brush. I don't really know if this is how I'm supposed to use this. Hopefully it works out. Let's go ahead and apply this on one side of the face. Oh my gosh, actually, whoa. Okay, whoa. We might have enough product to do a little bit more than half the face, but I'm gonna try to keep it on one side because I wanna show you and I wanna see myself the difference between one side of my face versus the other. The shade 3.5 really works for me when it comes to Armani foundations. It's like the perfect match. The hard part about doing these videos too is since I used the award-winning primer, which was this one right here, I don't really know how the two are gonna mix. I'm gonna do a little wear test today, but I'm gonna also try this foundation with another primer, and I'll leave a note for you guys down below. Okay, I felt the texture of the balm. It definitely melted onto the skin, and it was so easy to spread out. That's just with the brush. I'm gonna take a little bit of my sponge. I just am kind of curious to see the different ways I could apply it. So let's actually try a brush on one side. Here's the before and after so you can see the coverage level. What I'm gonna do on the left side of my face is I'm gonna take my sponge and I'm gonna see how that performs. I normally don't do this because I usually like to use a brush and then a sponge, but since this formula is so unique, I'm actually just curious. So it seems to be blending out really nicely. The coverage is definitely there, which is good because my skin's not looking the best today. So I'm happy to have a nice full coverage foundation. Okay, so I definitely feel like both sides of the face worked. You could use a brush or a sponge. I still feel like at the end of the day, I would totally do what I normally do, which is using both. I'm actually gonna kind of layer a little bit more with a brush on this side, even though we just used a sponge. And then I'm gonna go over the entire face with a sponge. This is just what I normally do because it just helps get rid of any brush marks. Now, if I remember right, this foundation is supposed to kind of set itself into like a powder. So I'm really intrigued to see what that does. Obviously, I don't know how long I can wait for that since we have to move through the tutorial, but all right, there's the foundation on the skin. If I'm honest, up close, I don't know if it's like my favorite foundation I've ever applied, but I do definitely recognize the unique formula and it was really fun to apply. The wear test is what's going to be really important with this specifically. But with that being said, I am excited to see how this wears. Okay, for concealer, we actually have a concealer that won the category of Best Concealer for Blemishes. I've actually used this before as well, but it's funny because I usually use this underneath the eye area. This is the Marc Jacobs Accomplice Concealer, so I thought this would be perfect to apply on top of the blemishes that need extra coverage. So I'm just going to take that on a Morphe M173. And by the way, I picked this up in the shade Fair 16. This might be a little bit too light for my blemishes, hopefully not. Yeah, a little bit, but oh well. And I'm just going to use that to pat a little more coverage over top of the areas that I need it. This has a really nice consistency though, and I've actually found that even though it's a stick formula and usually those are higher coverage and sometimes they can feel a little heavy, I have used them underneath the eyes and I have not had an issue at all. I'm also going to apply it right in the center of the forehead just to kind of brighten things up there and maybe a little around the nose. So the concealer that won an award for the best under eye concealer was under the splurge category, and this is the most expensive concealer I have ever purchased, and so I'm really hoping that it's worth the price tag. I honestly could not believe how pricey this is. This is the Clé de Peau Radiant Corrector for Eyes, and it has a little brush thing. Let's go ahead and click this. I picked up the shade Ivory. Sometimes these really pricey products intrigue me because I'm someone who's very into drugstore and affordable makeup. Sometimes I wonder if spending like $65 on a product really means quality or if it's just kind of like a gimmick thing, you know? So I guess we'll find out with this concealer. It's kind of a lot of product. I definitely don't need to click up anymore. I'm gonna go ahead and paint this underneath the eye area. It's probably like $20 a product right there. It has like a rose scent. It's kind of funny how super bougie products or very expensive products have like the same scent, you know? It's all like roses. Let's go ahead and blend out this concealer underneath the eye area with a sponge. Ooh, holy cannoli. Uh-oh. Oh, please don't make me fall in love with this expensive concealer. What I'm noticing though is how beautifully it's blending out, honestly. And it has a very nice radiant finish, just like the title of the concealer. I felt like it concealed the under eye area really nicely as well, without looking too heavy, which is really nice. Okay. Oh no, that's actually really pretty. But again, a wear test is going to really make a difference. Okay, one of the loose powders that won an award I was so excited about, and it's kind of funny because I've especially recently been reaching for it. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Powder for Face and Under Eyes. You guys have seen me use this several times on my channel, and it was just kind of reassuring to see that it won an award because I was like, you know, I knew it was a good powder. This is the powder that kind of stinks, but you can get past it and it does not last, like the smell doesn't last on the face, which is really nice. But what I like about this concealer, I've said it before, but I'll say it again. I love the radiant finish that it has. It locks in your makeup, but it never looks over the top or too heavy, which is so great, especially underneath the eye area. And I think I've also mentioned this before in a previous video, but sometimes if I don't want too luminous of an under eye or base, but I want some of the properties of this powder, I'll actually mix it half and half with another loose powder. Any sort of translucent powder works, and not only does that make the Charlotte Tilbury powder go further if you're mixing it, but it also kind of combines the properties of the radiance of this with the longevity of maybe a mattifying powder. That looks really pretty under the eyes. I love this. I am going to take what's left in the cap and just use that to set the cheeks a little bit. I do have another powder that I wanted to try, but I kind of wanted to set the face a little bit with this. This is another loose powder that won an award, and this is one that I actually picked up for this video. This is from Wander Beauty, and it is the Play All Day Translucent Powder. The thing that really intrigued me about this one is this is what it looks like. And this is what the component looks like. The powder is inside of the puff, which is really interesting and intriguing. And I've actually seen this on Instagram before. I don't really know how this is supposed to work. But anyways, I've seen this on Instagram before. Ooh, another one of those. And I've always wanted to try it. I've actually had it on my loves list on my Sephora cart for a long time. So I thought it would be kind of fun to test it out. This would be absolutely perfect if it works, obviously, for on the go, which is kind of what Wander Beauty is known for. They make a lot of travel-friendly products. Is it working? There it is. So I'm just gonna kind of press this onto the face. But isn't this genius for on the go? I thought so. Like if you threw this in your purse and you need a little bit of translucent powder, you don't have to worry about the mess of it, which is so nice. Okay, I think it's working. My face feels nice and set. Very unique product. I'm excited to keep using that. The pressed powder that won an award, I was so excited to see this as well because this is something that's been a favorite of mine since I tried it. This is the Jouer Soft Focus and Set Hydrate Powder, and I like to use this in the T-zone. I'll just take the powder brush that I was using before, and I kind of like press it in the T-zone. I just find that this blurs and brings life back to the skin. For some reason, it just really helps make the T-zone on me look amazing. I love this. You could definitely use this all over the face. I've never used this directly over a liquid foundation. I definitely should try that, but this is what I use it for. This is what's worked for me. And I definitely do feel like this is an award-winning product because every time I use it, I love the way my skin looks in the T-zone. So that's that. Let's go ahead and quickly do the lower lash line. And I'm gonna kind of speed through this part because I started this video way later than what I wanted to, and I still wanna do a decent wear test. So I'm just gonna do the same shades, basically mimic the exact same thing that we did on the top lid on the lower lash line, and I will be right back and we'll move on to the next product. So I just finished up the lower lash line. I used all of the same shades right underneath where I used them on the top lid, including the 2 glitter shades that I used in the center of the top lid. And then I went into the shade Nefertiti right here on the inner corner and on the brow bone, and then I went in with the Kaja Bento Box. I used the top shade and just kind of added a little bit of that to the inner corner to make that nice and golden and just kind of make it pop a little bit more. So the eyes are done. Let's go ahead and move into bronzing and contouring. The contour palette that won an award is this one from Dior. I actually just bought this for this video, but this was also one of the items that I've had in my Sephora loves list for so long. I've really wanted to try it for a long time. So this video kind of gave me an excuse to give it a go. I'm going to be using the contour shade right here on more of an angled brush. I don't really know how pigmented this is. Okay, seems to be pretty pigmented. So I'm just going to work what's on the brush already around the cheeks right here and a little bit into the hairline. The Dior Backstage highlighter palette, the first one, I haven't tried the second edition yet, but that is one of my favorite highlighting palettes of all time. So I have really high hopes for this palette just because I've gotten so much use out of the other Dior palette. So far I really do like the shade of this. It's warming up the complexion, but it's also defining it really nicely. I'm just gonna run that down the neck and along the jaw. And I'm gonna take a tiny bit of that down the sides of the nose, underneath the nose, and under the lip. I'm going to take this shade right here, which actually has a little bit of a shimmer in it. I think this is intended to be more of a highlight for deeper skin tones, but I thought it would be kind of pretty on my skin tone, layered on top of that contour shade, just to add a little bit of glow along the forehead. I think that's pretty. I always like to take the powder brush that I used and I just buff over the edges anytime I do bronzer, just to make sure there's no harsh lines. That went on really nicely and I really do love the tone and undertone of that on my skin. I think it looks really natural. There was not a high-end blush that won an award, so I'm just gonna use this Tarte Exposed blush. I just have it on my desk and I really think it will complement this look. It's a pretty neutral color. So I'm just gonna smile and apply that to the cheeks. And then for highlighter, there were actually so many highlighters that won awards that were high-end products. I had a really hard time choosing which one I wanted to test out, but I've had my eye on this specific product for such a long time, and also the Hourglass Stick Highlighter, which I might have to pick up eventually anyway. But I kind of wanted to try this one first, so this is the one I bought. This is the Stila Heaven's Hue highlighter, and I picked up the shade Kitten. I've seen this everywhere, and I have always wanted to play with it because it kind of has a putty consistency. I'm really hoping that this shade isn't too dark for my skin tone. It was the lightest shade that they offered on Sephora. So anyways, let's go ahead and press that. It might be a little bit too dark, but I'm just gonna go ahead and apply this to the cheeks. I'm gonna kind of go over that with a sponge, and I'm gonna try to apply it with a sponge on this side. I like to bring my highlighter on the front of the cheeks a little bit down the center of the nose, and on the Cupid's bow. Okay, I think that's pretty. It's a pretty tone. It's definitely more of a glamorous highlight in my opinion, because I personally reach for things that are a little more layerable. I don't know if that's a good word to describe this, but who knows? Maybe as I wear it throughout the rest of the night, maybe it will melt into the skin. I think it's actually really pretty, and I like the pink undertone. I do feel like it's slightly deep for me. You can kind of see the shadow on the sides of my face, but I still feel like it works. All right, I'm going to wipe off any makeup that got on the lips. I'm gonna line and fill in the lips with the KKW Beauty Lip Liner in the shade Nude 0.5. This did not win an award. I wanna say these may have won an award last year. Or maybe that was something else from KKW Beauty. Regardless, I think they should win an award. They're one of my favorite lip liner formulas ever. So I'm just gonna line and fill in the lips with this. And for lipstick, they actually have several different lipsticks that won. And a lot of times they choose a product for different categories. So they'll have different nude colors that won awards for specific skin tones. So that's why I chose this one. This is the Estee Lauder Pure Color Envy lipstick in the shade Insatiable Ivory. This won an award for being the best nude lipstick for light skin. I actually owned this and I found it after prepping for this video, and this was a few days ago because it took a while for all these products to come in the mail. So I've actually been wearing this. So that's a little spoiler. I really love this shade and the formula is gorgeous on this. Isn't that beautiful? I absolutely love this shade. I can't believe that it was just like sitting in my lipstick drawer. For lip gloss, the lip gloss that won was the Clinique Pop Splash Lip Gloss. I have actually not tried that many products at all from Clinique. I picked up this shade right here. There wasn't a specific shade that won. This is in the shade 02. And we're gonna wear this on top of the lipstick. I'm excited to try this. I'm just gonna apply that over everything. Ooh, it feels really nice. It's not sticky at all, and this color is really pretty. And let's go ahead and set the face. So the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray won for the best matte setting spray. You guys know I love that setting spray. It's one of my absolute favorites. It's been a favorite of mine for years. But the dewy setting spray that won an award is the Anastasia Dewy Set Setting Spray. It looks glittery on the outside, but there's no glitter on the inside. So I thought it'd be fun to try this one out today. Okay, let's apply this all over the skin. Ooh, it smells good. Okay, we're gonna use the fan real quick. And once things are almost dry, I'm just gonna go ahead and press everything into the skin. I'm gonna take my Wander Beauty puff and just kind of press that along the areas that I really don't want shine. And for brow gel, we have the Benefit Gimme Brow Plus Gel. I don't know what happened to this bottle. I just opened a new one and it came like this. So this won an award for Best Tinted Brow Gel. I'm gonna go ahead and run that through the brows. My brows are bold and bushy and dark today. Because we used like 15 different products, you know? Okay, so that is the completed makeup look. Guys, I am so mad at how late it is. It's currently 7:50 p.m. I did not expect to start filming as late as I did today, but I'm gonna try to do a wear test anyway. I really wanna see how some of these things wear. So we're gonna start the wear test now, and I'll see you guys in a few hours, and I'll show you how the makeup held up, and I'll also share with you a few of my favorites based off of what we tried today. I already like a lot of the new things I tried today, but the wear test is gonna really help me kind of solidify my first impressions. So I will see you guys in a little bit. Alright you guys, so I'm back in the studio and it is currently 1:18 in the morning. So that means I've been wearing this makeup for around 5 hours, which I know is not an ideal wear test, but it's something. And I feel like even in the 5 hours, I've really kind of developed a little bit more of an opinion on some of these items. So let's move through things quickly. For the brows, I felt like they were a little bit thicker than what I normally go for. I really like the products individually, but I don't know if I would wear them again all together. I think my favorite brow product of the bunch is the Sigma Brow Powder. This on its own is so beautiful and so soft. I do like to use it with more of a precise pencil and I get a really nice effect. So I did want to make sure to tell you guys that I really do like this product. Moving on to the Huda Beauty eyeshadow palette. I really loved my eye look today and I felt like everything wore really nicely. The tones really are beautiful in this. I don't have any complaints about the formula so far. I would recommend picking this up if it's something that inspires you. But if you already have colors like this in your collection, you might not need to add it to your collection, so it's kind of like a personal preference kind of a thing. As far as the glitters go, I thought that this little trio was really cute, and I think the formula was really nice on this. Part of me wonders if I would have gotten use out of a different shade. They have several different colors in this, and I just don't find myself reaching for like bronzy glitters as much. Who knows? Maybe I'll reach for this. The reason why I picked up this shade was because it was specifically mentioned on the Allure website. With that being said, I really liked how it added a little bit more sparkle to the look, so I'll keep playing with this. The thing that I know I really love though is the Tarte Sea Glass glitter. Like if I had to choose between the two right now, it would definitely be this. This is what's in the center of the lids, and every single time I checked on my makeup tonight, I loved the glitter on the eyes, especially in more low light settings. I thought this was beautiful, and this shade is amazing. I'm really excited to look into more of the shades, so this was definitely one of the top products out of everything I tried today. Okay, the eyeliner is surprisingly really beautiful, and I do feel like I'm gonna get a lot of use out of this just because it is such a tiny, precise eyeliner. I loved how it added just a little bit of definition along the lash line, but it did not overpower the eye look, so I'm really excited about this. It also did not smudge or smear, so I'm going to definitely continue to use this. I'm excited about that. Okay, as far as complexion goes, all that I've noticed so far is that things are looking very dewy, and it's probably a combination of a lot of the complexion products that I tried today. But the thing I've also noticed, besides the nose, where I do tend to accidentally wipe my nose just out of habit, so besides that area, everything is looking dewy, but nothing is really falling apart or separating. It just looks really glowy. For being 5 hours in, I personally like a foundation that's gonna not look this dewy at this hour, but on a normal day-to-day basis, I usually do check in and see what my foundation is looking like, and I will just powder the T-zone and move on with my day. So it's not a deal breaker, honestly, especially if it's not separating. If the foundation separates and gets greasy, or dewy I should say, then that is more of a deal breaker. But since things are looking really nice and put together still, I feel like adding a powder on top will just kind of freshen up the look, and it's not going to make the makeup look expired, if that makes sense. Okay, I've been staring at my under eye area today, kind of wishing that I wouldn't love this concealer as much as I am right now. I don't know if it's the combination of this with the Radiant Charlotte Tilbury powder that really just made my under eyes look so healthy and dewy, but they didn't crease anywhere. Like, the under eye area looks so hydrated and alive, and I really genuinely loved how the under eye area looked today. I just really want to try this out with another powder and see if it is this, or if it just happened to be the combination of these two products, or if it's just the powder. But as of now, I really truly did love the way my under eye looked today. Oh, I forgot to talk about the mascara. I have already used this, you guys know. The Mile High Club mascara is beautiful. It does not smudge or flake on me. I honestly don't know about this primer. I kept catching glimpses of my lashes and there's still beige marks. I don't know if my lashes are like too long for this primer to where the mascara doesn't quite coat the whole thing. I'm not really sure, but I do know that I really love this mascara and I have reached for it a lot recently. I've been traveling with it. It's a great everyday mascara. Definitely, again, something that I love to use on more of a daily basis because it's a little more lengthening. You do get some volume, but usually when I'm doing a more glam look, I like to layer up something like the L'Oreal Lash Paradise mascara just for that extreme volume. But this is a really great mascara. Packaging is travel friendly, so I did really enjoy that. I'm mostly touching on the things that I tried out brand new today. So the next thing is the Wander powder. I definitely feel like this is something that we're gonna have to test out maybe right now. I'm gonna try to touch up the face on just one side to really see how this works, because it's kind of baffling that there's powder inside the puff but you don't see it. Oh, well, people, that actually looks really nice, and it just seemed to freshen up and take away any excess oils. Do you see that? It didn't completely mattify, but it just kind of took that away. I want to go ahead and do the other side of the face. Okay, so doing this proves that the foundation does look good if you go back in with a powder and touch up if you're someone like me who gets a little oily in the T-zone sometimes. Very innovative packaging, and it's something that I definitely will remember to put in my purse if it's something that works with multiple foundations. It's so convenient, and I love the effect of a loose powder. Sometimes a pressed powder can get a little bit cakey sometimes, so having this option is great, and I feel like it's something that will live in my purse. I just need to try it a few more times to make sure. The Dior contour powder, honestly, I really loved how it looked on my skin. The only downside to this is there's 4 shades in here and all of us have different skin tones, so it kind of depends on the person as far as which shades you're going to get the most use out of. I do feel like I can use these 3 shades pretty regularly. I don't know about this shade. Obviously, if I was doing someone else's makeup, I might be able to incorporate that. I guess I could use it as an eyeshadow, so you know, I could figure out a way to use it, but that is one of the downsides of these Dior palettes. With that being said, I love the highlight palette, and it has a deep highlight shade in there, and I still don't really have any complaints with it, and I do use it on my eyes sometimes. So I think this is a really nice palette. I'm really excited about it, and I'm going to continue to use it. So the Stila highlighter, I felt like this was really pretty. It definitely made my skin look nice. Up close, there is a little bit more glitter in it than what I personally would prefer. Again, that is just a personal preference of mine, so this is something that I might reach for on more special occasions. I'm not sure if it's memorable enough for me off of my first impression to be super excited to wake up tomorrow to use it. Do you know what I mean? Okay, the lip combo I actually really loved. This Estee Lauder lipstick, like I said, I've been wearing it for the past few days and it is beautiful. The Clinique gloss looked really pretty on top. I wanted to actually see what it looks like over my lips because I didn't try that yet. This is a really pretty nude color. They had a lot of shades in this. I really feel like I might end up picking up more of this. The color is there and it really seems to smooth out the lips, which I like. So I feel like this will be front and center on my desk. I feel like it's a great shade to layer on top of a lot of different lip liners or lipsticks. So I really enjoyed the lip combo. The dewy setting spray I feel like was nice, but I definitely feel like it made my skin very dewy, or at least contributed to that. So in the future, I might try applying it on the outer portion of the face. I have to be kind of careful with my skin with dewy setting sprays because the center of my face does tend to get oily, so setting sprays are kind of hard to, you know, give a full thumbs up on upon first impressions. Everything else that I mentioned that I had already talked about truly are staples in my routine. The Laneige Balm, the Charlotte Tilbury powder, the Jouer powder, the Marc Jacobs Accomplice Concealer is really nice. I know in these videos there are so many products that I talk about, and to be honest, a lot of times when I film these videos, I do end up enjoying quite a few of these products. So in order for it to not be too overwhelming for you, because I know there are so many things I talked about today, I'm going to tell you my top 3 things that I really feel like excited me today out of the new things that I tried. So just know that I really do stand behind any products that I've used before, like the primer and everything. You guys, the nail polish. I know that sounds crazy, but if there's one thing out of the high-end category stuff that I tried that I feel like so many people would really love, and it's just so different, it's the nail polish. Like, I can't even tell you how much I was staring at my nails today. I even showed my husband and I put the flashlight on my phone. I'm gonna put the flashlight on it here so you can really see how stunning this is. Like, look how glittery it is. I'm just absolutely in love with the nail polish, and I feel like it's something that's a little less expensive out of the things that I tried today, and also it truly is one of my favorites. My second favorite would have to be the Tarte Sea Glass Glitter. I think it added something so special to the eyelid. These are both like mermaid magical products. I just really like them. And then if I'm being 100% with you guys, the third thing that I'm really excited to keep using is this concealer. But I don't want to give it a full green light yet, so just know that that is truly what I'm most excited about. But I guess the fourth thing is the lip products, both the lipstick and the gloss. So that ended up being 5 things. Well, there you have it, folks. Everything else I'm really excited to continue to try. Hopefully you guys found this helpful. I want to know in the comments if you guys have tried any of these products and if they are some of your favorite products. I honestly feel like the high-end products that were picked for the Allure Award winners were really well thought out. There were a lot more exciting products in this lineup, and I'm saying this because I almost feel like the drugstore was a little underwhelming this year, and it's not that they didn't pick good products. They did. They picked some of my very favorite staples, but there was just nothing really new and exciting and innovative that they discovered at the drugstore that won awards. So in the future, for me personally, I would love to see a little bit more thought put into the drugstore side of things, because I feel like there was definitely more effort put into some of these more high-end products, which is great. And I love finding good high-end products. Like, truly, sometimes there are things that are worth every penny. But that was just kind of my thoughts as far as the roundup of all the different products that I shared and that I tried out after this year's list of product winners. So if you're new here, hi, my name is Allie, and I would love for you to join the family. You can do so by hitting the subscribe button. And if you're already a subscriber but you want to be notified on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, click on the bell after you subscribe and you'll get a notification every single time I post. That's it for today's video. I hope you guys have an amazing day wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video. Love you. Bye!